What's up, guys? How you doing? Ryan also is Miss Florida Gator News here. Sorry, I've been kind of slacking on the YouTube thing. I mean, I had to close out the 9 weeks of my school year. I had to make sure I finished off the best I could, which was not that great. Now I had to get caught up in school and everything, but now, fresh 9 weeks, make more videos now, obviously, because the school stress is a lot less. That rhymed. That was awesome. And so, here we go. The picks this week did not consist of Boise State in my thing, as they all know they won 49-20, and La Tech actually kept it close first half. I mean, it was 14 or 7-7. Might have been 7-7. They tried an onside kick, they got it, but they get called for an offsides. They get backed up 5 yards. Not only that, then their coach argues with the referees for so long. The coach got a personal foul penalty for them, so now they're kicking off from their own 12-yard line against the win with La Tech. Obviously, they don't have a very good kicker. That happened. So, Boise State took it away from there. Let's go and get started. Florida State at NC State tonight, 7:30. Florida State only 3.5-point favorites. They seem to struggle in this game. Not only did they struggle against NC State, they struggle at them on Thursday night, especially at their stadium. They've never played a Thursday night here in Tallahassee, but be right back, people. I'm gonna go answer the phone. Anyway, sorry about that. I had to go answer the phone. Florida State, Christian Ponder coming off an elbow injury. I forgot what it's called. It's got two very medical, technical terms, and I don't really know what those words are. But he's got an arm injury last week versus Boston College, and that's why he had such a pitiful performance. And if it's not fully healed, they have to put the backup in E.J. Manuel. They're probably not going to take any risk with Christian Ponder. So I took NC State on this one. I see Florida State squeaking this one out with like a last-minute drive, winning by 21-20 or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm taking NC State, though. Here we go. We move on to the Saturday games. Miami, Florida at Virginia. Miami 14.5-point favorites. Only 14.5-point favorites. Virginia is one of the most unknowingly teams. They could play good. They only lost 17-14 at USC. Or they can play really, really, really bad. Now against Miami, they're probably going to play really, really, really bad. So I have Miami recovering the 14.5 points. But not by much. Next game, Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Kansas State getting knocked out of the top 25 last week. I actually even saw that one coming. You're welcome, people who actually picked whoever they played, Baylor. Yeah. And also, I called the Iowa State game as well. So, Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Two high-powered offenses going at it. Obviously, Oklahoma State's defense is a lot better than Kansas State's defense, and I expect that defense to show up at Kansas State, covering the 5.5, maybe by 2 touchdowns. Next is Tennessee at South Carolina. South Carolina, 17.5-point favorites versus a struggling Tennessee team. Tennessee has come so close in these SEC games. I mean, actually in any game. Halftime close to Oregon, close to us, halftime close to Alabama. This is the game I think they break out and they win. South Carolina, after that Alabama win, has not seemed as strong. They just seem a little selfish, maybe. I'm not really sure, but they just haven't been the same. They have not been that team, and I don't expect that team to show up. As a matter of fact, I see them losing this one, so I think Tennessee wins, and South Carolina does not cover. Next is Arizona at UCLA. Arizona 9.5-point favorites coming off a blowout win against Washington, and with their backup quarterback. And I believe Nick Foles will not start again. But no matter who the quarterback is at Arizona, I see them winning against UCLA, even though because it came off a tough, emotional Thursday night loss at Oregon, and a young team like that with a young quarterback, UCLA's young new quarterback into this new pistol offense. I don't see them recovering from this game. I'm going with Arizona. Next is number 5, Michigan State at number 18, Iowa, one of the Big Ten matchups. Iowa is the 6.5-point favorite last week. They were also favored. I picked them. This week, I am not going to pick them. Michigan State's offense is way too good, and their defense is way too good for Iowa. They're a lot more physical, and maybe the size is a little different, but Michigan State obviously has the advantage here. The running game is there. Iowa's running game is not there, and under pressure, Ricky Stanzi can't perform to his abilities, unlike the Michigan State quarterback. I forget his name. Anyway, I have Michigan State in that one winning. Missouri at Nebraska. Nebraska 7.5 point favorites over Missouri, so another team ranked less but favored. I actually see Nebraska winning this one. Obviously, Missouri beating number one team. Yes, there is they're gonna have a letdown, but I don't think it's gonna be that big. Obviously, but I see Nebraska winning this one by 10. I know Missouri's defense is really good, but I don't think they can show up this game. Nebraska's offense is just way too good. Nebraska. Next is our new number one Auburn versus at Ole Miss. 7.5 point favorites is Auburn. Only 7.5. You know why? Because Ole Miss played really well against Alabama. Alabama only won by 18 or something. If they can carry that to Auburn, and all they gotta do is contain Cam Newton. They gotta contain him on the run game, make him throw. I know he's a pretty good thrower, but you'd rather have him throwing the ball than running the ball for sure. If they can do that, I think they win. I don't think they win, but I don't think Auburn will cover. So I'm going with Ole Miss as the underdog. Next is Baylor at Texas. Texas coming off a first loss ever to Iowa State. 7.5 point favorites is Baylor. Baylor's Robert Griffin, I think. Yeah, Robert Griffin the third, something like that. Their quarterback is awesome, and he is going to blow out this Texas defense that cannot stop Iowa State under 20 points. As a matter of fact, Iowa State scored 28 points, and their offense is not that good. And I think that's just a tough emotional loss right there, and they lose this one, and that just sets the tone for the Texas Caesars. Next is number 13 Stanford at Washington. Washington coming off a loss to Arizona at Arizona pretty heavily. Stanford's offense is awesome, and their defense is pretty average, as is Washington's. But I think Stanford's offense is going to show this game, unlike the last game against Washington State. So I see them winning this one and covering by and winning by 2 touchdowns. So they do get the cover. Next is Vanderbilt at Arkansas. Let me check my time. My time's good. Vanderbilt at Arkansas. Arkansas 21.5 point favorites. They cover this one easily. Vanderbilt is not good on offense. Arkansas's got nothing to worry about really. I'm going with Arkansas. Kentucky and Mississippi State. Kentucky is quietly a very good SEC East team. I think as long as they had a defense, they could be easily ranked. They could easily beat anybody in the SEC. And they obviously already won against South Carolina. Why not Mississippi State as well? Mississippi State's offense is very unproductive. Kentucky's is, and that's just going to set the tone, is defense. If Kentucky can play defense, then they will win. So I have Kentucky winning this one, actually, over Mississippi State. Next is Utah Air Force, 6.5 point favorites. Air Force struggled against TCU, same way against Utah. Going with Utah. Next is Ohio State at Minnesota, 25.5 point favorites. Minnesota is just god awful. They lost to South Dakota State. They can't get anything on defense. And how do you think they're going to stop Terrell Pryor? Ohio State will cover this one, 30 points easily. Next is Oregon at USC. Oregon could be the 4th team to go down, going by the AP poll. 4th number 1 team. At USC, there's just no way USC's defense can handle Oregon's offense. Both offenses are high-powered, but Oregon's defense is a little better than USC's. I have Oregon covering the 6.5 point spread. Next is Colorado, Oklahoma. Oklahoma losing as number 1 at Missouri. Now they play at home versus Colorado. Colorado, not a very good team. 24.5 point favorites. I took Oklahoma. Their offense is way too good. Colorado's defense is way too bad. Colorado's offense is way too bad. Oklahoma's defense is way too good. Oklahoma should cover that one. Next is Utah State at Nevada. Nevada 24.5 point favorites as well. Utah State obviously coming in very close against Oklahoma, but this game they won't so much. Nevada's pistol wins and gets the cover by 24.5 points. Last game, TCU at UNLV. TCU, a very good offensive team as well as defensive team. They seem to have that borderline covering or not covering the spread. 35.5, that is a lot of points, but I do see them covering it. I see the final score being 40 to 10, or 50 to 10. So the tiebreaker at 65. That is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the picks for this week. I'm coming out with my Florida pregame predictions video for against Georgia tomorrow. It's Friday, 10, whatever the date is today. I am out. Peace.